ever think you'd live to see kids buying a bikini for their grandma, or shops selling maternity clothes in school colours, or a husband asking the sales lady for a black see-through baby doll nightie, size 52? Well, those are just a few of the reasons why this programme scurries back to the safety of the 1930s and the 1940s. For any of you who weren't around at that time, well, those were the days when advertisements told you what brand of cigarettes doctors smoked, and when the only parking problem was getting her to agree to it. So let's meet the team who will be taking us back to those days before inhibition gave way to exhibition. Our first two guests. Well, as you probably twigged from that signature tune, they're the couple whose very names have become the distilled essence of our period. The Sonny and Cher of the 30s and 40s, Miss Anne Ziegler, Mr. Webster Booth. And to complete our team, a star whose reception at the last Royal Variety performance left no doubt that little things do mean a lot. Currently engaged in persuading Charlie Drake and Ronnie Corbett to join him in an organisation called Height Watchers, Mr. Arthur Askey. Well,
he's very good. Oh, is this, Charlie? Very good.
Let's start them off with a singer whose identity we're not 100% sure of. But when I say we're not 100% sure, what I actually mean is we haven't got a clue who he is. What happened was we dug up a 1935 Patty pictorial which gave him this billing.
Wandering through the world I go, lonely beneath the stars that glow above. Though above they hide my face, in my heart there is a place for love. Dreams of love I never knew. Here's a song I sing for you.
What song is it, Alf?
On the good ship. I'll see you again.
And now that didn't look like Webster.
No, it didn't. Not at all.
You don't think it was?
No.
No, but Webster, you did appear at one time as some kind of mystery singer, didn't you?
Yes, I was the BBC mystery singer. But that wasn't me. He didn't keep his tongue down.
Oh. Arthur, have you got any idea who he was?
No, but I do remember there was a fellow who billed himself as a mystery singer.
But you started out as a singer. That wasn't you on a day off.
Oh, no, on stilts. No, that was not me. Well, and I wear glasses.
That's what good, yeah. Let's try Webster on another piece of identification. Now, Webster, what was the name of this group on your screen now?
The Summer Theatre Shanklin.
Yeah. What was the name of the...
What were we called? Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Yes.
And the year was 1931. Now let's see who you can identify in that group.
31.
Yeah.
Gladys Merridew.
Yeah.
Catherine O'Hagan.
Yeah. Is that Mario?
Mario.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
All right, we don't know him.
Yeah. I'm not sure this girl.
Reg Batten.
Reg Batten, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, who's that girl? I don't know. Then there's a little fellow there, I think his name was Arthur Askey.
And behind him?
And behind him there's a bloke named Webster Booth.
Yeah.
Then Barbara...
Domer.
Little Sylvia somebody.
Yeah.
No
fella.
Bernard Lee.
Bernard Lee, who is now...
an actor.
Yeah.
And Barbara...
Deems, yeah. And they were all together in Powys Pinder's Sunshine Concert Party, Shanklin, 1931. So, and that Bernard Lee is, of course, M in the Bond films.
That's right,
yeah. Now, Anne, that means that actually Webster was singing with Arthur before he sang with you.
Very definitely.
Well, when did you start singing?
Well, we met in 1934 in a film studio.
Yeah, actually, before that, you had quite a distinguished singing partner for a couple of years, weren't you? The Trocadero.
Oh, yes, Harry Welshman.
Harry Wellstone, that's a
Yes,
lovely name. Well, where did you meet Webster?
In, was it Teddington? No, Brownmore
Bushy.
Park. Bushy.
Bushy.
No, in
right.
the park. You meet...
Not in the park, no. We
no.
were quite respectful.
But now, Arthur, it was actually one of the songs that Webster sang at Shankling that gave your daughter the initials that she had.
That's right.
Well, what was the song?
Well, my daughter wanted to, when we found we'd got a daughter, she wanted to call her Anne. And I said, well, you can't call her Anne Askey. It doesn't sound literate, she said. And she was literate.
Yeah.
And I said, I know, Boothie, that's Les, Webster Booth, who was in the show. He used to sing a thing called, bid me to live and I will live. And he used to say, ladies and gentlemen, to Anthea. It was called To Anthea.
Yeah.
And it was written by a very old English poet called
Robert Herrick.
Robert Herrick.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Actually, I think Webster, can you just give us a couple of bars?
Oh, what he's giving you.
Yeah, well, just so that we can...
Da-dee-da-da-da-dee-da-da-da-da to me.
Who was the best?
Yeah, actually, Arthur, before you went to Shankling, I believe you were at Ventnor on the pier where you shared a dressing room with a deep sea diver. Just tell us a bit about that.
It's a long story. Well, anyway, I had this little dressing room at the end of the pier. We were only there for the 1 week. And when I went in, there was a funny smell. Well, there usually is when actors have been about. But in the corner, there was a big sack. And in this sack were seashells, the ordinary seashells you pick up off the shore. And I found they belonged to the fellow who was on the pier as the diver. And he and his wife, when I say a diver, he had the whole complete diver's uniform. With the big thing you screwed on here, and the big heavy boots. And he used to go into the sea, and his wife used to do this, you see. And it was a very, very old outfit he had. He used to bubble up. But before he went in, there was a great palaver. He was going to defy the depths of the sea. And she used to cross herself as he went down. And when he got down there, the water was only 6 feet deep. He used to have to crouch down like that, you see. And he used to stay down about 2 minutes like that. Then he'd come up again, and she'd say, thank God you're safe, and unscrew this. Out he'd come again and say, oh, it's terrible down there. And then he'd say, ladies and gentlemen, by some caprice of nature, the Gulf Stream comes right round the end of Shankling Pier, bringing in its wake, I remember it sounded like Gilly Potter, bringing in its wake real mother-of-pearl shells from the other side of the Atlantic. And I'm willing to sell these for a shilling. And then he'd go get another handful off the beach and put them in his sack in my room. That was great.
It's lovely, yeah. Well, now we've got all our three guests cosily linked with each other and their careers nicely launched. Let's point them in another direction. Let's look at some other 30s and 40s artists who made their name in that vanishing art form of revue. And two artists who did a lot of revue and were famous for their impressions on the screen. Now, can you remember who they were?
Nelson Key.
That's it.
And is it Florence Desmond?
Florence Desmond, indeed it is. Now, Webster, for you, we're going to find four artists, and they started in a sophisticated little show called The Gate Review. Now, can you see, reading from left to right of the screen, who any of them are? They're difficult, aren't they? Now, the first one, I'll give you, the first one is Gabriel Brune.
Oh, yes.
And then moving along, somebody who made a success with Anne and Eagle.
We've just seen him, haven't we?
You saw him in a previous Looks Familiar, I think. Yes.
I think so. Michael Wilding.
Michael Wilding. Then next to Michael Wilding,
Tony Gingold.
Hermione, as we lesser mortals call, yes. And that's a great dancer, American came out, Walter Crisham. Crisham. Actually, you had Hermione Gingold singing with you at a much earlier stage.
Oh, yes. In all the musical comedies on the BBC.
What, yes?
With Eric Mashwitz.
Husband.
Well, but she sang, what did she sing in those days? I mean, what sort of voice did she have?
Oh, she was the leading lady.
Yeah. What,
very
soprano?
Good, too. Yeah, very good, very good.
Right, Arthur, for you, the first Shepherd in those days used to put on the sort of broader kinds of review. These were the four principal comics in one of his reviews called The Shepherd's Show. Now, how many of those can you identify?
Well, Monsieur Eddie Gray.
Of course.
Oh, what a funny man he was.
And the
next one is Dickie Hearn, Mr. Pastry.
Yeah.
The other two, I'm not sure about.
Well, the one and either of you know the one crouching right down? He looks like Sid Fields, but he isn't. That's Arthur Risco.
I thought it was, yes.
Remember Goodbye, Sally?
Arthur Risco.
And then the one... Now, that is not a lady. That's a gentleman in what is known...
Oh, that would be Dougie Bing.
Douglas Bing.
That's right.
Indeed. Right.
Yeah.
Well, now there's an unforgettable tenor voice coming up. Although it looks like we'll have to split his song in two for the commercial break. However, here with a ballad from his biggest film success is Mr. Vienna, Part 1.
And my true love's name was on the breeze. The gossip was so dense the pilgrim breeze. The colored girls all know my true love's name. And how from love my lyric is the flame. No living thing but knows it's still my dear friend. Thine is my heart. Thine is my heart. And never can be my dear friend.
Well, actually, it's rather apt that we now have to wait a few moments before part 2 of his song, because in that film, the character he was playing was Franz Schubert, who, if you remember, wrote a piece called The Unfinished Symphony. So now you'll know why the symphony was unfinished. He had to leave off for the commercial break.
Let the viewing pain, she does not hear all hearing is no heat, all 52 and never broken reed. Hear my confession still, but hear my tears.
Arthur, who was he?
Jeff Boycott. He just looked like Jeff, you know.
Yeah, the Viennese Jeff.
Oh, that was Richard Talbot.
Richard Talbot.
Great guy.
Yeah. Did you recognise the lady who was gazing at him?
No, I didn't. I don't remember.
Either you...
That's Carol Ray.
No, it's Jane Baxter.
Oh,
Jane Baxter. And the gentleman in the box glowering was Carl Esmond. Now, and actually, you were in a film with Talbot, weren't you?
Yes,
Called
Wellstone.
Wellstone.
That's right,
Do
yes.
you remember what you sang in that?
We will return to Vienna.
Well, when I say do you remember what you sang, I mean I wanted to hear what you... Can you get together on it? I mean, do you want some...
Return to Vienna, heart never die in Vienna.
Thank you.
I like the word.
Arthur, can you remember how Talbot's best-known song went?
Oh, You Are My Heart's Delight.
Can you remember how it went?
Shall I sing it in
Do
German?
the full... Yes.
Dein ist mein Liebe. Is that right? You are my heart's delight, and where you are, I long to be.
Great, yeah. Now, Anne,
The Kentucky Minstrels. I remember Richard so well. We were playing at Edinburgh, and he was at the one theatre, Tommy Trinder was at the other, and I was at the King's. And a fan of mine came and brought me a huge salmon. And this was during the war when food was scarce. So I rang up the chef at the Caledonian Hotel and sent the salmon down, said, do the lot. And I rang up Dickie Talbot and Tommy Trinder, and we all had supper together and a lot of wine. Finished up at 2 o'clock in the morning with me singing, You Are My Heart. And Richard was singing, Busy Bee, Busy Bee.
Lovely. Actually, another thing in that film, Jane Baxter was wearing that rather splendid dress. Now, you and Webster Anne, you always took great care with what you wore on the stage.
Yes, we did.
Now, what's
We
the
were
thing?
very fussy about it.
Well, they had to go back to the shop.
That's right, they did. Dead
Yeah.
right. Now, we had some I had some lovely crinolines.
Crinolines, yes.
Beautiful.
What was the most splendiferous one you ever wore?
Oh, I think the one for the Royal Command. Gorgeous emerald green lace over white satin. And embroidered all the hearts of the lace, the pattern, with marguerites, because it was the first Royal Command that Princess Margaret ever went to.
Yeah.
On our 7th wedding anniversary in 1945.
45. Was it expensive for those times?
Dreadful. I nearly died when I got the bill.
Yeah.
But it was worth it.
Oh, I bet.
It was worth
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Not as much as today.
no,
No,
nothing's as much as today. everything's coming back from the 30s and 40s except the prices.
Yes, right.
Well, the next performer we're serving up is someone I happen to know that all three of our guests have been in shows with. But today we see him with his talents hired out for wartime purposes.
Have you heard of Sid the salvage kid? Every week he's knocking at your door. Give him all you've got, he can take a lot. Every little helps to win the war, so give your scrap to the scrap chap. All your scrap to the scrap chap. He doesn't care a rap, any kind of scrap, from an envelope flat to an old mouse trap. Every bit of scrap to the scrap chap will help to scrap the chap and let out the chap. Until the big scrap's won, there's one thing to be done. Give your scrap to the scrap chap. Bit of a mouthful and it jumps. They're a regular tongue twister, they are.
They are. Arthur, who was he?
Day after day, I'm on my way. Sid Walker.
Sid Walker.
He was with us in Bandwagon.
Bandwagon, yeah. And what part did he used to play?
With the Rag and Bone Man.
Rag and Bone Man. And he used to, how do you always used to end every episode? Lummy
chums, I don't know, bump into some algae-doos or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Queer algae-doos.
Queer algae-doos. You weren't allowed to say queer in those days. You can now.
Now, Webster, the year that Sid Walker made that sort of propaganda film, both you and Anne were with him at the Winter Gardens, didn't you? Yeah. In fact, in the Vagabond King, we have the programme of it there. There he is down the bottom of it. And I think that entitles us to ask you and Anne to give us just a little reminder of the Vagabond King. Have you got something?
Well, you sing your solo.
Come on, you beggars of Paris town, you lousy rabble of low degree. We'll serve King Louis to keep his crown and save our city from Burgundy. Our city from Burgundy.
Great.
And then, of course, we have to...
Very good.
Well,
That was the original of To Hell with Burgundy, I'll have a Guinness.
well, because Sid Walker had such a distinctive radio voice, let's see if we can recall a few more radio performers of that time. Now, here's a couple, Anne, that I believe you and Webster have quite close links with. Now, do you remember who they were?
Ernie Butcher.
And Muriel George.
Ernest
Yes.
Butcher, Muriel George, yeah. Now,
And we bought a house that they had.
Did
Our
you?
first house after we were married.
and can you remember, Webster, the kind of act they used to do?
Yes, old sort of English duets.
That's it. Yeah.
And comedy duets, you know.
Yeah, they're actually very much associated with the Ilkley Moor song.
Oh,
that
very
they
much.
used to do. Yeah. Now, Arthur, one for you. Something hasn't cropped up in this programme. Might be rather difficult, but he was a great performer on radio in the late 30s.
He was with the Co-Optimists.
That's
with
right.
Stanley Holloway,
Yeah.
Laddie Cliff, Davy Burnaby.
David Byrne. Yeah. Used to compare a lot of BBC
That's right.
shows. And
Very
he
good. Lovely, affable, lovely,
Yeah.
warm personality.
Used to announce everybody with a limerick.
That's right.
Do you remember? Yeah. Well, let's move back to singing again now. This time from the 1937 film version of a particularly tuneful British musical. It's the only screen appearance the lady you'll see ever made, and I'm afraid this brief clip is all that we could find of it. You've had a bit of that, haven't you?
Dear.
And who was that lady?
Mary Ellis.
Mary Ellis. Do you know, Webster, do you recognise the rather stout chap who joined us?
Yes, Trevor Jones.
Trevor Jones, indeed. Arthur, the name of the show that came from?
Well, as Sid Field used to say, it's one of Ivan Novello's.
Yes, right, yes. It was
Glamorous Night,
Glamorous Night, yeah, Glamorous. Now we've got on to Ivor Novello. I don't think we can release this particular trio without having them remind us of some of his other songs. So, Webster and Anne, can you give us just a taster of, say, this one that's on your screen now? The one from the dancing years, I Can Give You the Starlight. Just...
I can give you the starlight, love unchanging and true. I can give you the ocean, deep and tender devotion.
Very good.
Lovely. Arthur, you started your career singing. This could open up a whole new job opportunity for you. Yeah. Let's see how you get on with this Ivor Novello song.
Shine through my dreams and once again, softly and secretly, whisper your love to me. Something like
It
that.
could happen again, yeah. And I don't think we can release Webster and Anne without the Ivor Novello number that I think would probably be your most requested one. This one that's on your screen now, you've probably sung that as much as anything. How about just a little bit of that?
We'll gather lilacs in the spring again and walk together down an English lane until the world to sing again. When you come home,
Very good. With that memory of how difficult it is to sing on an overstuffed sofa, this is where we get off. We hope the sessions reminded you that somewhere around 1998, somebody will probably be calling these the good old days. But if all we've actually done is leave you feeling irretrievably middle-aged, well, cheer up. At least you've seen one of your childhood dreams come true. Back in the days when your mother used to wash your hair, remember how you used to wish you didn't have so much? See you.
And the next Looks Familiar is on Boxing Day at 12:50 with guests Frankie Howard, Beryl Reid and Alan Wicker. And they continue...